we have this world that I really have to admit my father definitely thought of it this way. In he was a true white liberal, and more of the classical end, but and really also very much somebody was telling me, because their encounter with him, that he was very good at taking in the argument and really listening, that he truly would listen to what you were saying, and he was right. I really had to think about that, and I was like, yeah, my father was extremely good. It's long, very focused attention. It was very bright, and I just, yeah, and so in thinking about this, I started thinking about, well, he really liked this idea of this new world of the economy of ideas. People would be doing all kinds of computer programming, coming up with lots of, just the entire concept of an economy that was going to be based on ideas rather than the production and manufacture of things. And that this is this dream we have, that we'll just all be inventors, and they'll just magically appear, and that there's even these machines, these printers, and they'll magically make the good, wonderful products we all like out of rosin, and all use, it'll use so little, there won't be the smoke. Electricity is blue. Blue is closer to green than smoke. that's you see, easy science, ho science. And so now you have this dependency on nations that are that it's at this stage, fundamentally, for most people who are of about 50 and up, for you to have your daily medications, we have to make peace with Mordor, and we have to pay off Mordor all the time. That's what it's gotten us to. That because yucky chemical manufacture of medicine, yucky poo-poo. And then there's also the thing of people thinking, I want my child to be an idea person who works with their mind, and because that's more powerful and so now, of course, people are finding out, okay, no, if you take the number of people who sunk their money into law school, successfully became a lawyer, they've passed the bar in their state, even. Then you look at, okay, so let's look at the money over a lifetime compared to the person that they became a general contractor. They want the same, same ages. This guy started working started working on the building site. One boy was on the site, one boy was on the campus, or female or whatever. Yeah, but you look at it, especially something like that, general contractor, and fundamentally you'll find that it's like, no, if the general contractor was simply smart with their money and they're going to come out ahead of the average person who became a lawyer. The average, when you look at them overall, like a lot of people end up going into that field and leaving it because it simply is, it's a rather saturated field. There's only so many people at one time who are looking for such services, all that kind of stuff. And that you have to keep up on all of your different, varieties of licenses and certifications at all times. Well, when you're a contractor, it's like, well, no, buildings are always collapsing. They're always falling apart. That's, contractors are constantly needed. And now we actually have the problem of not having bricklayers, contractors, welders. We have lots of people who are idea people, and these idea people are sinking some of the companies they're involved in, especially if they're journalists, if they're gaming journalists, if they're some kind of consultant for left-wing political consultation stuff. So the promise that the economy of ideas and concepts and some digital contrivance derived out of HTML or something that was going to save everything, it hasn't panned out. And now it's taken about 20 years, really, for everybody to see how bad this has gotten, to the point that the industrial giants have courted the NGOs to actually have the new generation of bricklayers magically imported into the country. But they're not going to be bricklayers. They're not going to do tile. They're not. It's just not going to happen. You have to be on the site at 18 at least to start getting those kinds of skills. It takes a long time to be good at that kind of thing. There's so many of us that we think about that. We think about, holy crap, I can't believe my parents insisted I do this, when if I had been on the site and I had learned how to do tile, it would have been entirely different outcome, so there's just no way around it. You got to be there. You got to be there, and that's the way life is. So that's why do channels like this where I warn people, don't think the world of ideas is going to help you or it's going to make you rich. You should learn how to work with your hands and your back, because those are real metrics. Apply metrics. Apply them. And so the beautiful part about what now all these financial people, so Kyle Bass, as I was saying earlier, was pointing out the issues with China and how nothing's going to save their economy because they've gotten themselves too stuck. So his idea is they have to try to invade Taiwan. Wouldn't even be surprised if the invasion of Taiwan just happened to happen during the summer or something like that. Just close enough to November. But then there's the monsoon season, so that's its own problems. There's real logistical problems with trying to invade Taiwan that China has to deal with. So but Kyle Bass's call on that is not a bad call. Him thinking that China has just boxed itself in so badly economically that they're going to have to rally some kind of, rally mania, the dancing auntie mafia, the dancing aunties. Don't mess with the dancing aunties. Jim, you love that. I think China Uncovered or something. They have the dancing aunties, and it's a great story. It's just, don't mess with them. They talk about you while they're at their dance thing, and then all the aunties everywhere know about you, and then it's bad news. But so to rally the people or even Bass was like, that's kind of what politicians do. They're not math guys, and they're not really economists, and so he's calling that they'll have to go after Taiwan just to keep their economy afloat. He was pointing out how really there's about one or two things we could do policy-wise. Russia wouldn't be able to do anything. Their lights would go out. And it's because of very specific things we're doing with our own energy industry that's making it that Russia can even pull this off. So that's its own own set of fascinating parts of this, that by fall, most of the big money is saying there's just not going to be anything left. We won't be able to fake it. Like, we can't fake it. We're the richest people in the world. And yeah. And so we'll see what happens. I mean, really, like, there's not really much way we can know now. We'll just know later. God damn. What the hell is going on right now? But it is looking like it's fundamentally there's now the attempt to keep people buoyed on completely ridiculous non-news and non-information, but it's not quite working. There's nothing that's really distracting. Wow, the birds are amazing. These more freshly hatched birds are everywhere, and they're like greens and reds, and I mean all kinds of amazing birds. Probably because there's fewer people around. Now that I think about it, yeah, there's fewer people around, so I'm seeing more hatchlings. Never thought about it that way. Huh. Interesting. So, without manufacture, we don't have shit. And the big one is medicine. That all it's going to take is that we're already seeing the measles pop up. But as soon as any other kind of illnesses pop up, that's it. It's done. We're gonna have to suddenly discuss how we don't make medicine anymore. We're gonna have to discuss how we don't have certain fundamental chemicals being manufactured in the United States, so that we could keep cleansers and all kinds of other necessary industrial products, like concrete going, and so it really is just a matter of that at a certain point there's not going to be a way of faking it. And it's good. But like Aaron Clarey said, it's going to have to completely fall apart before people wake the fuck up and stop being liberal bitches. And yeah, stop being jotos. No, don't be joto. And so that's yeah, and that's how it's going to go. And there's going to be people who are prepared, and there's going to be a lot of people who they need their pharmaceuticals, and they're not going to be prepared. A lot of people are going to have to, like, smart money is on people who aren't on brain drugs. And then there's the issue of just the logistics of moving shit around. At some point, it's really going to be, don't worry, the Democrats are going to figure out ways of messing this up more for themselves. That's the key. They like hurting themselves. I don't know why. But they really they like doing these things. They think no, this wasn't going to go wrong for us, and then it goes horribly wrong for them. And so yeah, I was just thinking about, without that manufacturing, without this idea of you have that you have a quality and a standard that's associated with your country. The very idea of creating things, because it's creation, it's art. It's just that because this is industrial levels of science, it doesn't have any of the magic that people associate with art. And then magic, there we go. That's something I was thinking about. One of the things that we're seeing with the states right now is that we're going from the magical youth, got into our wild and crazy, most rebellious teenage of years, with the Cultural Revolution and through the 90s and into the 2000s, and sexy feminism. And, now people are even like, therapeutic psychedelics, and you got weed stores. We got through our kind of teenage years of society. But now we got to come with being adults. And with adults typically comes poverty or an ass whooping. That when you're having too much fun as an adult, as a teenager, you start getting to about 19, 20 years old. And I bet some of you gentlemen can offer a story on this. Our society is the really drunk, tough 19-year-old at the party. And we're about to get turned into men. As the rest of the world slowly sets up okay, what I'm going to do is I'm going to let him bump into me. And then what you're going to do is you're going to splash his drink. And then when he's tripping, homeboy's going to come up from behind and dip him like fuck into the fucking table. You know, like, we're going to dip this nigga into the table. Kind of, that's kind of what, it looks kind of like it's going to be almost that type of thing, that other nations are on that level of planning, that they're just like, yes, we could totally come up now that, America's kind of resting on its laurels and is not really aware of what is going on, and so that's kind of what we're sort of facing, Right? Wow, you look just like this guy I used to hang out with. That was so weird. Like, it looked like it could have been his brother. Like that moment where, like, wait, is that you or is that you? Here's that site, Jim. So this is that area that I showed you that big piece of equipment on. Yeah. I wonder if that thing is still there. It's probably not here anymore. Oh yeah, they're totally. Well, yeah, they. Oh, here they go. There's some different ones. Aren't those cool, man? They're cool. All right. So. Oh, weird. Oh no, you had to close. Oh yeah. That's a pizza place. So they have like city art in the window. Art program to fill in empty storefronts because people love art. But yeah, so we don't think of manufacture as art. We don't think as chemistry as art because it's yucky poo-poo science, and women aren't involved, so it's not. They don't like it. That's fundamentally what it comes down to. If women were like the dominant group in chemistry and chemical engineering, then women would be insisting that we would be the chemical manufacturers of the globe. If they all, that's it. That's just what it comes down to. So this is really weird. What's going on? All right, and so what's happening here? Okay, so. It's just a little confusing what I'm seeing around me. There's a little bit of a lot going on right now. Okay. So we now are at this stage. We have no way out of this. We are absolutely and totally dependent on mostly China, but a wide variety of nations that it's better not to be dependent on for things we absolutely need, like standard medicines, standard medications, especially the stuff that is generic, because we're not manufacturing the generics. We're getting the generics from China, and it's not. We have no way of sourcing the materials, and it constantly allows for then there to be sort of this end of the medical industry that's then beholden to their masters, where they're getting the pharmaceuticals from. So then they have to big up. Oh no, they're good. No, they're great. They're the toppest quality. Don't question the science. It's all scientific, and don't question it. That kind of thing. So, yeah. So it just, I just wanted to make sure to to kind of get this idea. Oh, there they go. Yeah, it's still here. This idea of people are going to just be able to code the future, the AI is going to blah blah. It's like the AI is not going to blah blah. No. At some point, you need to make things. If AI was going to blah blah so well, why doesn't China? Why are you not seeing like everybody in China talking about like this amazing AI thing that has solved all their problems and has made so many efficiencies in their system because it's the AI, the power of the AI. Oh no, am I here? Oh, I'm here 20 minutes early. Oh goddamn. Oh nuts. Okay, I've got to figure out something to do. Yeah, okay, we're gonna get a coffee over here. I'll talk to you guys later.